Ladies and gentlemen, there comes a moment in life when the weight we carry no longer feels like a challenge to rise above, but like chains dragging us backward. A moment when holding on feels heavier than letting go. A moment when the comfort of the familiar becomes the cage of your potential. If you're feeling stuck, if you're constantly exhausted by what you're carrying, this message is for you. This video isn't just about change. It's not just about motivation. It's about liberation. Because somewhere along the way, too many of us were taught that strength means holding on longer, trying harder, and never walking away. But that's not strength, that's survival. And you weren't born to just survive. You were born to evolve. You were born to rise. Think about it. How many dreams have you delayed because of fear? How many relationships have you tolerated, even when your soul knew it was time to move on? How much of your identity has been shaped by pain you never processed? Pain you were told to hide, bury, or push through? It's time to challenge all of that. It's time to break the cycle of silent suffering and step into the light of personal truth. It's time to stop clinging to what was and start surrendering to what can be. This isn't just a motivational speech. This is a wake-up call. A reminder that the version of you that's being dragged by the past, by people, by expectations, by memories, is not the version of you that will reach greatness. Letting go doesn't mean giving up. It means making space. Space for peace, space for clarity, space for the you that you've been silencing for too long. And yes, the process will test you. You will feel fear. You will question everything. You will wonder if you're making a mistake. But those are signs, not of failure, but of growth. Today I invite you to lean in, to open your heart, to confront the parts of your life that no longer align with your vision. Because once you begin to let go of regret, of control, of people who no longer belong, you won't just feel lighter, you'll feel unstoppable. So if you're ready to stop being dragged by things that no longer serve you, if you're ready to stand tall in your truth, to rise with intention, to reclaim your power, then stay with me. Because this journey isn't just about learning how to let go, it's about learning how to fly. Let's begin. The weight you carry is not who you are. Every person you pass by today is carrying something you can't see. Invisible burdens, heavy memories, silent battles, and maybe you're one of them. Maybe you're carrying the pain of a past betrayal. Maybe it's guilt over something you wish you'd done differently. Maybe it's the words someone spoke that you can't unhear. Or maybe it's the version of you that you no longer want to be, but you don't know how to let go of. Whatever it is, let this truth hit you like a lightning bolt. The weight you carry is not who you are. It's something you've picked up, not something you're required to keep. You see, life will hand you experiences, some beautiful, some brutal. But what you choose to carry forward from those experiences, that's on you. And most of us, we carry too much. We drag yesterday's pain into today's peace. We replay past chapters so often, we forget we have the pen in our hand right now. Letting go isn't about pretending nothing happened. It's not about denying the pain or pretending you're unaffected. Letting go means you've decided, this no longer gets to live rent-free in my heart. You weren't born with this weight. You learned to carry it through trauma, through disappointment, through fear. But just as you learn to carry it, you can also learn to release it. Because here's the truth, no one talks about enough. Holding on is costing you more than you realize. It's costing you your energy. It's stealing your joy. It's hijacking your ability to be present. It's convincing you that you're broken when in fact, you're just burdened. Imagine running a race with a backpack full of bricks. You'd still be strong. You'd still have potential. But your performance would suffer, not because you're weak, but because you're weighed down. That's what emotional baggage does. It slows your growth. It blinds your vision. It dulls your spark. But here's the good news. You don't have to keep carrying it. Letting go is not an overnight decision. It's a daily one. It's the courage to say, I don't need to carry this anymore. It's the wisdom to separate what happened to you from what's true about you. You are not your pain, you are not your past, you are not the worst thing someone ever did to you, and you are not the version of yourself that was hurt, lost, or unsure. You are evolving, you are rising, and rising requires release. So today, take inventory. What are you carrying that no longer serves your becoming? Who told you that you had to hold on this long? Because if you don't let it go, it will keep dragging you back. But if you do, you rise, you heal, you become. And that's the journey we begin now. The pain of holding on is worse than the pain of letting go. Let's be real, letting go hurts. It's not easy, it's not quick, and it's definitely not painless. But you know what's even more painful? Holding on to something that's already over. So many people stay stuck, not because they can't move on, but because they keep choosing the illusion of safety over the truth of freedom. They're scared that letting go means losing everything. But in reality, holding on is costing them far more. That toxic relationship, it's not love. It's a wound that keeps bleeding every day. That job you hate but won't leave. It's draining your soul just to survive the week. That past mistake you replay in your head, it's not protecting you from future failure. It's anchoring you in self-doubt. You're not staying because it's comfortable. You're staying because you've convinced yourself the pain is familiar. And that familiarity is keeping you from healing. But let this truth set you free. The pain of holding on is not the same as the pain of growth. The pain of holding on is circular. It loops, it repeats, it whispers the same lies over and over. You'll never find better. This is all you deserve. If you let go, you'll regret it. But the pain of letting go, that's the pain of stretching, of outgrowing, of clearing space for something better. It may hurt in the moment, but it doesn't imprison you. It frees you. The reason so many people never rise is because they're still clinging to what was, hoping it will magically become what it should have been. But let me tell you something. Wounds don't heal when you keep touching them, and people don't grow when they keep living in the past. Yes, it's hard to walk away from something you thought would last. Yes, it's terrifying to let go without knowing what's next. But staying stuck in what's hurting you won't make it be better. Every day you stay attached to what broke you, you delay the breakthrough that's waiting for you. Letting go is not the end, it's the beginning. It's the moment you stop asking why they did it and start asking, what do I deserve now? It's the day you stop waiting for the apology and start giving yourself the peace they were never capable of giving. It's the shift from why me to watch me. So if your heart is tired, if your mind is exhausted from carrying the same pain again and again, understand this. You're not weak for letting go. You're not selfish for choosing peace. You're not broken for walking away. You're brave. You're rising. You're stepping into the version of yourself that was never meant to be held back by the past. And yes, it might hurt for a while, but that's the pain of breaking free. And it's worth it. Release the need for closure. One of the most difficult lessons you'll ever learn in life is this. You don't always get closure. You don't always get the apology you deserved. You don't always get the explanation that makes it all make sense. And that's okay. We are taught to wait for closure, like it's some grand emotional door that must be sealed before we can move on. We're told we need someone to say sorry, that we need to understand why they did what they did, that we can't heal until they give us the answers we're seeking. But the harsh truth is, some people will never give you closure. And sometimes, even if they did, it still wouldn't fix the hurt. Because closure doesn't come from them, it comes from you. You can keep chasing the ending you think you need, or you can choose something more powerful, clarity. Clarity says, I don't understand everything, but I understand enough to walk away. I don't need an apology to forgive. I can close the chapter without needing someone else to help me write the last sentence. You see, waiting for closure gives your power away. It hands over your healing to the very person or situation that hurt you. And that's not where your healing belongs. Your healing belongs in your hands, in your decisions, in your boundaries. In the moment you decide, this no longer defines me. Maybe they left without a word. Maybe they ghosted you after everything you gave. Maybe they betrayed you and you still don't know why. You may never get the truth you think you need. But the truth is, you already have enough. Enough to know it's time to stop waiting. Enough to know you deserve better. Enough to know that their inability to communicate does not reflect your worth. And here's the most empowering part of all. You don't need to keep rehearsing what happened. You don't need to wait for a dramatic ending. You can wake up and say, that chapter is over. Not because they said so, but because I said so. That's what strength looks like. Not waiting for permission to move forward, but choosing to do it anyway. Closure isn't always something you're given. Sometimes it's something you create. It's the decision to stop chasing clarity in someone else and start creating peace within yourself. So stop refreshing the past. Stop hoping for words that may never come. Stop tying your healing to someone else's growth. You've grown, you've learned, you've survived, and now you're ready to let go. Not because the door was politely closed, but because you finally realized you have the power to walk through a new one. Let go of the old identity. There comes a time in your life when you must ask yourself a powerful question. Who am I becoming? And what parts of me no longer belong on this journey? The truth is, many of us aren't just holding on to the past, we're holding on to old identities. Versions of ourselves that were created through pain, through trauma, through survival. Versions that helped us get through difficult seasons, but are now keeping us stuck. Maybe you became the overachiever to prove your worth. Maybe you wore the strong one mask so no one would see your pain. Maybe you learned to people please so you'd never be abandoned. But here's the thing, what once protected you is now preventing you. You cannot step into the life you desire while clinging to the person you used to be. Growth demands release. Transformation requires that you shed the skin of your former self. It's not that who you were was wrong. That version of you was doing the best they could. But now you've outgrown those limitations. And just like a snake must shed its old skin to grow, you must let go of old identities to rise into new ones. It can be scary. Letting go of who you were can feel like losing yourself. But what you're actually doing is finding your truest self, the one buried under layers of fear, conditioning, and false beliefs. Ask yourself, who do I keep pretending to be to make others comfortable? What old beliefs about myself no longer serve me? Am I living as a reflection of my past or as a vision of my future? You don't need to stay stuck in the identity created by rejection. You don't need to keep wearing the label someone else gave you. You don't need to act like the old you just to keep others from feeling threatened by your growth. Letting go of an old identity means saying, I am no longer that story. I am no longer that mistake. I am no longer defined by that season of my life. And it also means choosing a new identity with intention. One rooted in purpose, one aligned with who you truly want to become. Not a reactive self, but a designed self. Your identity isn't something fixed, it's something forged. You're allowed to reinvent, you're allowed to evolve, you're allowed to change. So let go of the identity that was shaped by pain. Let go of the mask that kept you hidden. Let go of the false sense of self that came from trying to fit in. Because the real you, the one full of vision, power, purpose, is not behind you. They are ahead, waiting, calling you forward. And to reach them, there's only one path. Release the old, embrace the becoming, rise. Release people who keep you small. Let's talk about something hard but necessary. Not everyone in your life is meant to stay. Some people were part of your story but not your destiny. Some were meant to teach you a lesson, not walk with you into your future. And some, they're not bad people, but they're blocking your growth. You see, we all crave connection. We want loyalty, friendship, love. But at what cost? Because here's the truth. You cannot heal in the same environment that broke you, and you cannot grow in a space where your growth threatens others. Look around. Are you surrounded by people who challenge you to rise? Or are you shrinking just to make others comfortable? Sometimes we stay connected to people who no longer align with who we're becoming, out of guilt, nostalgia, or fear of being alone. But here's the thing. When you hold on to relationships out of obligation instead of alignment, you end up betraying yourself. Letting go of someone doesn't mean you hate them. It means you love yourself enough to stop dimming your light. Think about it. How many times have you ignored your intuition because you didn't want to lose someone? How many times have you lowered your standards just to keep the peace? How many dreams have you delayed because someone close to you couldn't see them? You cannot fly while clinging to those who keep you grounded in self-doubt. The people who truly love you, who are meant for your next chapter, they won't be intimidated by your evolution. They won't mock your boundaries. They won't guilt you into staying the same. They will celebrate your expansion, not resent it. They will cheer your healing, not question it. But to find those people, you must first make room. You must be willing to say, this person served a season in my life, but that season is over. Yes, it's painful. Letting go of people hurts, especially when there was history, loyalty, or shared dreams. But history should not be the reason you stay stuck. Loyalty should not be slavery. And shared dreams don't matter when someone becomes your anchor instead of your wings. Releasing people is not cruelty, it's clarity. It's saying, I choose to surround myself with those who fuel my fire, not those who suffocate it. So if someone constantly drains your energy, if someone makes you question your worth, if someone only shows up when you're small and disappears when you rise, that's your sign, that's your permission, that's your moment to let go, because your life is too valuable. Your purpose too great, your future too bright. To be weighed down by people who only knew the version of you that tolerated less. Let them go, so you can finally grow. Surrender the illusion of control. One of the greatest burdens we carry, without even realizing it, is the need to control everything. We want to control how people see us, how situations unfold, how life plays out. We obsess over plans. We stress when things don't go our way. We tighten our grip, thinking the tighter we hold on, the safer we'll be. But here's the reality. Control is an illusion. No matter how hard you try, you can't control other people's actions. You can't control every outcome. You can't predict every twist and turn of life. And trying to do so only creates anxiety, fear, and constant disappointment. We become so afraid of the unknown that we cling to the familiar, even if that familiar is toxic, heavy, or harmful. We think, if I just try harder, if I just manage every detail, then maybe I won't get hurt. But here's what that mindset is really doing. It's building a cage of expectations, a cage of perfectionism, a cage that keeps you trapped in fear of what might happen while robbing you of what is happening. Letting go of control isn't giving up. It's gaining clarity on what's actually yours to carry. You can't control how someone treats you, but you can control how you respond. You can't control whether a door opens, but you can control whether you keep knocking or find a new path. Letting go of control means trusting life a little more. Trusting that even the detours serve you, that even the delays have purpose, that the universe, God, or whatever you believe in isn't punishing you, but shaping you. It's saying, I will do my part with excellence, but I release the rest. I won't force what isn't flowing. I won't beg for what's not aligned. Because here's what you learn when you finally surrender. Peace doesn't come from control. Peace comes from release. Letting go of control gives you room to breathe again. It frees up the energy you've been wasting trying to micromanage life. It opens your eyes to beauty in the unexpected. And most importantly, it brings you back to the present. When you stop obsessing over what you can't change, you start focusing on what you can. Your attitude, your habits, your focus, your resilience. And that's where your true power lives. So today, ask yourself, what am I trying to control that is actually outside my hands? What would happen if I released that grip and trusted myself to adapt? You don't have to have it all figured out. You don't need every answer to move forward. All you need is the courage to let go of what isn't yours to hold, and the faith to believe that what's meant for you will not miss you. Let go of control, let in peace, and rise, lighter, freer, and ready for what's next. Trust the process of releasing. There's a part of you that knows it's time. Time to let go, time to move on, time to release what's weighing you down. But fear steps in, doubt creeps in, and you whisper to yourself, what if letting go makes things worse? But here's a question that cuts through the fog. What if letting go makes everything better? You see, when we think about releasing something, a person, a dream, a past identity, our minds often rush to what we are losing. We think about the comfort we're leaving behind, the time we've invested, the memories we've made. We forget that the process of releasing isn't about losing, it's about making room. You cannot receive with clenched fists. You cannot step into a new season while dragging every broken piece of the last one behind you. There is a divine unfolding that happens the moment you release what no longer serves you. It may not feel like it in the beginning. It may feel like chaos. It may feel like loneliness, like grief, like uncertainty. But what you're really feeling is space being created, space for healing, growth, and alignment. So many of us pray for peace, pray for purpose, pray for strength, but we don't realize that those things often arrive after we let go. Letting go is the door, trust is the key, and freedom is what waits on the other side. Yes, it's uncomfortable to trust what you cannot see, but transformation rarely looks beautiful in the beginning. A seed in the soil doesn't look like a forest. A caterpillar in a cocoon doesn't look like flight. But when the process is trusted, growth happens. You are not falling apart, you're falling into place. But only if you trust the process. Trust that your future is not tied to your past. Trust that healing is not linear, but it is inevitable when you commit to it. Trust that even in letting go, you are being led toward what aligns with your highest self. So ask yourself, what am I afraid will happen if I let go? What if the letting go is the exact thing that unlocks the next chapter of my life? Releasing doesn't mean forgetting. It doesn't mean that what happened wasn't real. It simply means you are choosing your future over your fear. You don't need to have it all figured out to take the next step. You just need the faith to take it. And when you do, when you fully lean into the process, you'll realize that everything you've been waiting for was always waiting for you to let go first. Let go, trust the release, and watch life begin to rise in ways you never imagined. Rise without regret. Let's be honest, letting go isn't just about cutting ties or walking away. It's about confronting one of the most uncomfortable emotions we carry: regret. Regret tells you you should have known better. You wasted too much time. You stayed too long. And the weight of those thoughts, it can be crippling. But here's a truth no one tells you enough. You did what you knew how to do with the awareness you had. You stayed because you hoped. You held on because you loved. You didn't fail, you felt. And that's not weakness, that's humanity. So instead of beating yourself up for what you didn't see, didn't change, or didn't do earlier, I want you to shift that energy. Let go of the regret and rise with wisdom. Every detour, every delay, every wrong turn taught you something. It gave you insight. It gave you strength. It showed you what you no longer want, which is just as powerful as knowing what you do. You are not here to be perfect. You are here to evolve. And part of that evolution means accepting your journey, not with resentment, but with reverence. Because guess what? You're still here. You're still growing. You're still choosing to rise, even with scars, even with lessons, even with a heart that's still mending. Letting go without regret means you've chosen to look forward instead of backward. It means you refuse to be defined by your past. It means you've made peace with who you were so you can fully step into who you're becoming. And this doesn't mean pretending everything's okay. It means acknowledging what hurt, but choosing not to stay in that pain. It means honoring your past without letting it anchor you there. It's easy to romanticize what was. It's tempting to replay what-if scenarios. But here's the truth. Your power is not in the rewind, it's in the reset. So, if you needed a sign to stop dragging your past into your present, this is it. If you needed permission to walk away from shame and step into grace, this is it. If you needed a reminder that it's not too late to become who you were meant to be, this is it. You have survived so much already. You've overcome storms that once tried to drown you. Now it's time to rise. Not just physically, but emotionally, mentally, spiritually. Not with a heavy heart, not with resentment in your chest, but with clarity, with courage, with peace. Let go, not just of people or things, but of the belief that your value is tied to what you've been through. You are more than your history. You are the author of what comes next. And the only way to rise fully is to rise without regret. Your freedom begins where you let go. Let's come back to the truth, the kind that whispers to your soul even when the world is loud. You are not here to be dragged by your past. You are here to rise. Every part of this journey we've walked together today has led you to this moment. A moment of decision, a moment of truth, a moment where you look at what's been holding you down and you choose not to fight it, not to fix it, but to free yourself from it. Letting go is not weakness. It's not giving up. It's not quitting. Letting go is strength in its purest, rawest form. It's the strength to say, this no longer serves me. It's the courage to walk away from what's familiar but harmful. It's the faith to believe that what lies ahead is greater than what's been lost. You see, we don't grow by clinging. We grow by releasing. We don't evolve by staying where it's safe. We evolve by stepping into the unknown, even when it's uncomfortable. And here's the beautiful part. What you release creates space. Space for healing, space for clarity, space for new energy, new connections, new purpose. You'll find that as you let go of toxic people, old habits, limiting beliefs, the world doesn't fall apart. You fall into place. It's not about forgetting your past. It's about refusing to be defined by it. It's about waking up each day and saying, today I choose peace over pain, growth over fear, me over who they wanted me to be. This is your invitation to rise. Not someday, not when it's convenient, not when everything makes sense. Now. Because life is not waiting for you to be ready. It's moving with or without you. And if you don't let go, you will be dragged. So ask yourself, what have I been holding on to that it's time to release? Whose voice have I been carrying that's no longer mine? What parts of my identity have I outgrown but keep clinging to out of fear? You don't need all the answers right now. You just need the bravery to begin, the willingness to say, I trust myself enough to let go. Because on the other side of release is relief, on the other side of surrender is strength, and on the other side of letting go is the version of you that's been waiting to breathe, fully, freely, fearlessly. You are not here to be weighed down, you are here to fly. So stop holding on, start rising, and remember, let go or be dragged. But whatever you do, choose your freedom because your future depends on it.